Hello, American Patriots, and welcome to another episode of the Douglas Ducote Show. You had many places you could be, but you chose to be here tonight, and for that, I am forever grateful. So thank you very, very much. I'd also like to reach out to all those that are joining us for the first time. If you haven't already done so, please go to douglasducote.com and sign up with your email address for our free newsletter. Folks, man, there's a lot of stuff happening right now. My original plan Tuesday was to discuss many of those issues. But for the past 7 days, I've been on the road, as many of you know. You saw one of my videos I did from Fort Walton Beach area at the U.S. Air Force Armament Museum. So we spent about 7 days over in the Florida area, and we were not able to do the show. Several different things happened, but one of them was we had a huge weather system moved in, and the internet connection was just too spotty where we were at. So while we were there, we did meet some wonderful people. Some of you saw the interview I did with Dr. Byron Bush. Wonderful guy. We met him and his wife when we were down there, spent some quality time together. And we also did a video with him about the corruption that he is facing up in Tennessee, which fit into many of the videos I've done in the past about our justice system and how bad it is broken and how it leans in favor of Democrat and not Republican candidates. And that's everything from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue all the way down to hell. Anyone at the lower levels like myself, for instance. Also, if you're just joining us, little disclaimer, I'm probably the most outspoken and not politically correct person on YouTube, which has my days numbered here. It's been that way for a long time. I've been banned for life on Twitter. There is a Douglas Ducote there, by the way. Actually, he's using my full name, Douglas M. Ducote Sr. He's actually even using my pictures that he takes off of Facebook or wherever, draws funny things like hair on my head and so forth, and has me speaking out as if I was against Republicans and conservatives. So it's a parody. It's funny, whatever. But just so you know, it's not me. You can only find me here right now. You can find me at douglasducote.com. You can find me on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter. I'm sorry. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, American Patriot by the Grace of God. And also we have a Douglas Ducote Show Facebook page. All that. Let's get into tonight's show. Tonight's show is basically about Joe Biden's pick for a running mate to be the vice president, if he was to become president. And let me just back up and say that, look, I don't believe Joe Biden is making any of the choices right now. I mean, like zero choices. I don't think he is the person who picked Kamala Harris or Camilla Harris or Cami Harris or however you pronounce her name. Funny thing is, real quick, CNN went on an outright rage yesterday over Tucker Carlson mentioning her name wrong. He pronounced it wrong. And they were just all up in arms about how horrible he is and how could he get this so wrong. And it just proves that he's a racist and he's against women. And I mean, they had a panel, a 6-person panel discussing how disgraceful it was that Tucker Carlson got her name wrong. And what happens when Joe comes out and introduces her? He gets her name wrong. So you didn't hear CNN go after him, did you? No, and then you're not going to. The double standards are amazing. Love it. What are you going to do? So anyhow, I truly believe that those that chose her did so for the reason believing that Joe will not make it through the first 4 years if he did become president because of his mental situation. Not making fun of those with mental illness at all. I have that in my family. I myself suffer from a TBI. I have family members that have dementia. And look, something's happening with Joe Biden. All you got to do is watch him talk. You know, he either has dementia or he has Alzheimer's or he has something happening, and I feel sorry for him. I hope he gets the help he needs. But I do believe that the Democrat Party realizes that the man will not make it. Hell, if he makes it to November without saying something else stupid against Black people, it'll be freaking amazing. I mean, all you've got to do is look, if you're a Democrat or a liberal and you think that I'm blowing smoke up your ass about this guy or what I'm about to say about Kamala Harris, look it up yourself. You can watch every interview these two idiots have ever done right here on YouTube. All right. Watch what they say. What I'm going to share with you tonight is out of her own words, Kamala Harris's own words. All right. No different than what I do when I talk about Alejandro Mar or Sheep Tlaib or Maxine Waters or, all the other just outright horrible Democrats, liberals that they only want freedom of speech for themselves and they want to shut up conservatives and Republicans. Don't believe me? Ask Twitter. So let's start with something that Kamala Harris just recently said. I know that winning this race will be a tougher challenge than any I've faced in my lifetime. But make no mistake, I am not afraid of Donald Trump. I've been standing up to Trump and people like him for my entire career. He doesn't scare me. He's a serial predator. I've spent my career putting them away. I took on successful and prosecuted the big banks when they preyed on homeowners. I prosecuted the pharmaceutical companies when they preyed on seniors. I prosecuted transnational criminal organizations when they preyed on women and children. I know predators. We have one living in the White House. That is right out of the mouth of that nasty woman that wants to be the vice president of the United States. Not to mention that on an appearance in 2018 on the Ellen DeGeneres show, or however you pronounce her last name, degenerate would be how I'd put it, joked about killing President Trump or killing Joe Biden. When she was asked if you were in an elevator with one of them, what would you have to say? And she mentioned something to the fact of that's saying that they came out of the elevator with me, as in, no, I would take their ass out. And many, many other things. Again, if you're watching this show, you're on YouTube, you have the ability to put in her name and watch the horrible things she has said, not only when she was a prosecutor and an attorney in San Francisco, but also as a senator. It's absolutely mind-boggling how nasty and disgusting this woman is. She is. Let's just face the truth. Listen to it yourself. That's your homework tonight, liberals and Dems. Senator Kamala Harris, who was announced as presumptive Democrat nominee, Joe Biden's running mate on Tuesday, once said that she believed women who accused Biden of inappropriate touching. That is correct. This is the same woman that is accusing President Trump of being a sexual predator when she was running to be the nominee for president against Joe Biden. She was as nasty as they get. I believe them, she said, and I respect them being able to tell their story and having the courage to do it, she told reporters April of 2019. Biden has been accused by a number of women of inappropriate touching and kissing, including by a Nevada politician who said he came up behind her at a 2014 campaign stop and kissed her on the back of the neck and the back of her head, which she found to be very inappropriate and unwelcoming. He's going to have to make that decision for himself, Harris said when asked if Biden, who hadn't announced the presidential bid at that point, should still run. I wouldn't tell him what to do, she said, although I agree with the women that have accused him, and I believe the women that have accused him of being a sexual predator. Biden then was forced to release a video addressing the allegations at the time, and you can see that right here on YouTube as well. Check it out. In which he said, social norms are changing. I understand that. And I've heard what these women are saying. Politics to me has always been about making connections, but I will be more mindful about respecting personal space in the future. That's my responsibility, and I will meet it. So, now, that's his way of saying, I'm sorry if I molested you. But at the same time, I get his mindset, okay? Because if you go back, he's in his, 70s. I'm 58, all right? And I can tell you just when I was growing up, all right, was it no big deal to compliment a woman on her looks or ask for a hug or whatever. And in his growing up, his era, it was completely different compared to how it is today. I understand that, but things have changed, and it's not appropriate. And he not only did it as a senator, but he did it as the vice president of the United States in the White House, right in front of cameras and people. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Creepy Joe. Nearly a year later, Biden would be accused of sexual assault by former aide Tara Reade. You all need to listen to her story, which is the most serious allegations he had faced and one he has denied. Harris, who had been at that point dropped out of the presidential race, said that Reade has the right to tell her story. Here's Kamala Harris, a senator that had been running against Joe Biden, agreeing that all these women coming out of the woodwork that are accusing him of being a sexual predator and molesting them, agrees with the women. Here's a woman who was a prosecutor in California, putting away these predators. Wow. And now she's going to be his vice president if he gets elected? What happened to all this? I believe the women. Are you shitting me? And she went on to say, I believe Joe Biden believes that too. She said on San Francisco Chronicle podcast before saying that women must be able to speak out with fear of retaliation. However, she also said that she could only speak to Joe Biden I know. Their time in Congress together. He's been a lifelong fighter in terms of stopping violence against women. The Joe Biden I know is someone who really has fought for women and empowerment of women and for women's equality and rights, she said. On the same podcast, she said about her status as possibly being the VP, that she would be honored to serve with Joe. So let's make up our mind here, Miss Harris, Senator Harris, Kamala, Cami, or however you want to pronounce that name. Which is it? Do you believe the women, like you said you do, that have accused Joe Biden of sexually assaulting them? Or do you not believe them? We need to know that. Or are you willing to push it all under the rug, turn your head the other way, and deny that you have accused him of being a sexual predator in the past. But now that you got the chance to be the VP, you're going to forget all that and yet call President Trump out as the predator. You know, where I came from, that's called hypocrisy. And you, madam, are the poster child for being a hypocrite. Joe Biden's accuser, Tara Reade, has called on the media to ask Senator Kamala Harris about the smear campaign that she has waged against her after her claim that Joe Biden sexually assaulted her in 1993, which was made public earlier this year. So let's talk about that a little bit. The accuser, Tara Reade, said journalists should be asking her pointedly why there was a smear campaign on me and why Camilla was so aggressive and assertive with then Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. And here she knows there's a credible sexual accusation against Senator Biden. Harris, a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, was one of the leading opponents of Kavanaugh and previously said she believed the women who accused Biden of inappropriate touching, which we already discussed. I believe them and I respect them being able to tell their story and having the courage to do it while she was seeking the Democrat nomination. In an April interview with the San Francisco Chronicle, Harris said Reade has the right to tell her story, and I believe that, which we've already discussed. And she believes all the allegations. She believes all the women that came forward have the right to be heard. In April 2019, Reade was one of 8 women who came forward with allegations of inappropriate touching by the former senator and vice president. When Reade was asked by reporter Scott Whitlock Wednesday if any media outlets had contacted her since Harris was picked to be the vice president's running mate, she answered, no, not a single one of them. Well, that's because they don't want to hear her voice now. That's because she will smear this man that now becomes their God. Reade is a self-described lifelong Democrat. She previously, now get this, she worked in the Senate office for Biden. She voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. She is a lifelong Democrat. She worked for Joe Biden. She becomes critical of the party's approach to sexual misconduct claims now. The Democrat Party has become an enabler to sexual predators. And that is from Tara Reade's own mouth. She also blasted the decision to feature former President Bill Clinton as a speaker at the Democrat National Convention is inconceivable. And I agree, madam. I voted for him and I believed in him, she said. It's inconceivable that he is being allowed to speak, and it speaks volumes about the Democrat National Committee. The only way we can stop human trafficking and sexual violence against women is to call it out and shine a light on it and not allow these people to continue in power. That is correct. Oh, Mr. Bill Clinton, President one each, that had an intern get on her knees in front of him in the Oval Office while his wife was, I guess, in another room. Is going to speak at the National Convention. And Kamala Harris, this is all okay with Joe Biden now. Yep. Oh, the hell with all that stuff I said in the past, just like literally 6 months ago. The hell with all the stuff I said about Brett Kavanaugh. Look it up, folks. Put it in the search engine when the show's over with of YouTube, Camille Harris. Listen to her own words against Brett Kavanaugh. Listen to her own words at the Democrat debates against Joe Biden. Harris's past and public prosecution, both as a district attorney in San Francisco and later attorney general of California, before she became a senator, were both a strength and a weakness for her in her presidential bid last year. While her past as a prosecutor could help counterattacks from the Trump campaign, that's a Biden-Harris ticket is soft on crime. It could hurt her with a left of the party that is entertained also calls to abolish, defund, and overhaul police departments. So think about that for a moment. Here she was, a public prosecutor in San Francisco, becomes the Attorney General of California. And whose side she on? Well, she's on the side of law enforcement, as she should be. Okay? That's just where the Attorney General should be, period. End of discussion. And now she's on a ticket that's okay with defunding the police. Let's talk about that a little bit further. An example of the kinds of attacks she may face were demonstrated in a furious New York Times opt-in, which attacked her claim to be a progressive prosecutor from the left. Time after time, when progressives urged her to embrace criminal justice reforms as a district attorney and then the state's attorney general, Ms. Harris opposed them or stayed silent. The opt-in from law professor Laura Basilio said, most troubling, Ms. Harris fought tooth and nail to uphold wrongful convictions that had been secured through official misconduct that included evidence tampering, false testimony, and the suppression of crucial information by prosecutors. Once again, the criminal justice system broken for you and me, but not those in power, such as, Hillary Clinton. Harris also threatened parents in California of treating children with criminal penalties. That record dodged her through her presidential bid in 2019. When one of the standout moments of the debate in Detroit, Michigan in July, Representative Tulsi Gabbard, Democrat Hawaii, ripped into Harris' record as a prosecutor. And here you go, my friends. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked in an interview if she ever smoked marijuana, and laughed about it to my face. She also blasted Harris for maintaining the cash bail system, which she argued disproportionately hurt poor people. Gabbard accused Harris of keeping prisoners beyond their sentence in order to use them as cheap labor as well for the state of California, as blocking evidence that would have freed an innocent man that was on death row. The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you were in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not, Gabbard said. And that's no different than Joe Biden. He was in a position for 8 fucking years as the vice president of the United States to do something with Barack Obama, with justice reform, the criminal system, the jails, the prisons. What did they do? They didn't do shit. What did any other president before Barack Obama do for the justice system? They didn't do shit. Who is the only president in the history of the United States of America to ever do anything to help fix the corruption in that system and prison reform? Who is it? That would be President Donald J. Trump. You cannot deny factual information. When she gave her little speech yesterday after being introduced by Joe Biden, if you haven't heard that, look it up. It's on YouTube. Between the two of them, they did a hell of a job of trashing President Trump's handling of the COVID-19 coronavirus, aka China virus. Oh yeah, it's all his fault. He's responsible for this economy collapsing. He's the one responsible for people not having jobs. He's the one responsible for you losing your 401k. He's the one responsible for all the deaths of those that have sadly passed away due to this horrible disease. On one hand, they talk about how there's no leadership in the COVID-19 fight, that President Trump, it's over his head. And in the other hand, they blame him for all the things that he has done or hasn't done, and they have no plan at all. In fact, the only time Joe Biden has mentioned anything he would have done different wasn't different. It's the same shit that Trump's doing. The Democrats should go to bed every night and thank God for coronavirus. I mean, and I'm sure they do. Because had it not been for COVID-19, what would the economy look like right now? 8/13/2020. Think about that for a moment, folks. Think of what this president, Donald J. Trump, did for the United States of America economy from being elected up until the day that COVID-19 entered into our country and started fucking everybody over. Think about that. Would Joe Biden have shut the country down? Trump did. But he's wrong for shutting it down, but yet he's wrong for the people dying? Make up your mind. Oh, and today what Joe Biden said? If he was president, no American would be able to walk outside of their home without wearing a mask. That's correct. Look it up. Don't take my words for it. Joe Biden said if he were in President Trump's shoes today, you would not walk out of your house without a mask. If you do, you're breaking the law and you will be prosecuted. So, Joe Biden, if you were president and you had to shut the country down too and destroy the great economic situation we had, then would you not be responsible for this, what you're blaming the president for? You're talking out the side of your ass. It absolutely doesn't make any sense. You know, and I don't want to really harp on the guy heavy about that because, like I said in the beginning, I believe he has a legitimate medical problem with his brain. You know, and that's difficult for me to discuss that when I have that in my own family. My own son, one of my children, is special needs. So that's dear to my heart. And I'm telling you, the Democrats don't give two shits about Joe Biden. They hope he dies after day one of being president, so Kamala Harris can be president. Although, I'm not going to discuss it tonight because I don't have exactly all the details that I need to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. But there's a lot of talk right now about how, with her parents being of different nationalities and not Americans, and her being an anchor baby, that she can't be the president of the United States. She can be a vice president. If that becomes true, then if Joe Biden has to step down. She stays where she's at, I guess. And guess who becomes the president? Nancy fucking Pelosi. Yeah, that's right. If you don't think this election in November is the most important election in the history of the United States of America, then you're smoking freaking crack. And that shit's bad for you. You should stop it. Wake the fuck up. Just say no to drugs. See this right here? You know what the Democrats and the liberals believe about this? It's toilet paper. You don't believe me? Look at Seattle, Washington. Look at Portland, Oregon. Look at Chicago. Look at all the freaking disintegration that's happening all around their cities. They took an oath to this. The mayors, those Democrat mayors of those cities. And what are they doing? They're making their law enforcement officers stand down and not take care of the criminals. They're not letting them do their job. It's forcing the president's hand to try and get federal agents in there to at least protect federal buildings like courthouses that they're fucking burning, the police stations they're burning, and they're not doing anything about it. The Democrats welcome shitting on the Constitution. When Trump wants to send federal forces into New York to fix the crime problem that's just gone skyrocketing, oh no, you can't do that. Nope. Yeah, we took an oath. We didn't mean it. Same thing in Chicago. Look, besides being a military veteran, for those of you who don't know, I also served in law enforcement. And I still have brothers and sisters that are serving today, some that I served with. I feel sorry for them. I couldn't do the job today. Fuck that. I'd have quit a long time ago. Especially if I was in Portland, Oregon, or Seattle, Washington, or Chicago, or Atlanta, or Memphis, or New Orleans, or Baton Rouge. All these places that are defunding the police and anti-law enforcement and are calling them killers and are saying they're responsible for killing uninnocent black youth. All the hands up, don't shoot bullshit that was a fake narrative. Give me a break. It's disgusting what's happening in this country. And a Joe Biden as president with that witch, we're fucked. Literally. Even if Trump wins, watch what happens that night and preceding nights after that. You think it's only isolated with Black Lives Matter and Antifa in places like Portland and Seattle? You ain't seen shit yet. They're going to lose their damn minds. And I'm 100% for it. Lose your shit. Please. I'm willing and I'm able to do what I need to do. And so should every other American patriot, to have the 6 of our brothers and sisters in law enforcement and take back this country once and for all. From before President Trump became president to this very second as I speak, the Democrats and liberals have done everything in their power to destroy him. They've lied about him. He's been investigated more than probably any man on the planet. And they come up with nothing and still go after him with lies and smears. And what happens with the justice system? We know a coup attempt took place with the fucking FBI, for crying out loud. We know what Peter Strzok texted with Lisa Page. We know what Loretta Lynch texted. We know all about Comey. We're completely in the loop. We watched the congressional hearings. All their shit's been released. Why aren't they in prison? Went out to Roger Stone for what was like equivalent to stepping on an ant. Went after all these Trump officials when they couldn't find Russia collusion. They dug looking for something that we can get them on. Well, if you go to somebody's house looking for a crime that you don't know if they committed or not, and then you can't find it, which, oh, by the way, that's not how the justice system is supposed to work, but you can't find that crime. Oh, so let's not get egg on our face. Let's start going through everything else in his house or her house and interview everybody he's ever met, all of the family. Go through the computers, go through the desk drawers, go through the wife's underwear drawers, talk to the fucking dog, and keep digging until you find something that's actually a crime. Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Comey, Hillary Rodham fucking Clinton lied to Congress. They're responsible for some of the worst felonies in the history of the United States of America. And what happened to them? The Durham report, the Durham investigation is, oh, it's coming, it's coming. I got absolutely zero fucking faith in that. You know why? Because none of the investigations have put any of these people in prison that should have. We watched it happen. It unfolded in front of our eyes. We, the people, are aware of the crimes these people committed. And they weren't held responsible for it. Forget about those crimes. Look at the crimes like, for instance, the lies of Hillary Clinton when it came to Benghazi. And all the people they sent out from the Obama administration to go, push this false narrative about how it all came to be. Well, these people died because of incompetence. The Democrats don't give a shit. The surviving members that were there have already testified in front of Congress. Democrats didn't care. They found them not credible. Are you fucking kidding me? As we get closer and closer to this election, excuse me, I'm going to get louder. Only because I don't know what else I can do. I can keep putting out the truth. I can keep talking about what these people say themselves that is absolutely damning. Or I could just hang it up and say, fuck it, I'm not going to do this anymore. And I'm not a quitter. I've survived through a lot of shit in my life. And I only do this for one reason: the love of my country, the country that I took an oath to protect and defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I've already been and fought against the foreigners. And now we're fighting against domestic terrorists right here in the homeland. Not to mention foreign terrorists that are already here waiting to strike again. Like what we saw happen at Pensacola Naval Air Station, what we saw happen at Corpus Christi Naval Air Station, what we saw happen at the recruiting station in Tennessee, what we saw happen at Fort Hood, Texas. Yeah. The Department of Defense, after the Pensacola incident, said, we're no longer going to train these foreigners in our country. Nope, we made a mistake. We're not going to train these Afghanistan Muslims, Iraq Muslims here in America because, they are killing our people. Or we're going to train them over there. You know, I was just at Keesler Air Force Base yesterday in Mississippi. My wife and I went to the base exchange, went over to the food court to get some lunch. And lo and behold, who's in line in front of me? A freaking Saudi Arabian military officer who happens to be there for training. Let's think. Who were the hijackers of the planes from 9/11? Where were they from? Where was Osama bin Laden from? What the fuck are we doing? Training these bastards in America when every year one of them flips the fuck out and goes and kills American soldiers or airmen or sailors because the Quran tells them to. But we're too stupid to fix that problem. Just like we're too stupid to fix the problem up in Congress where we allowed 2 Muslim women to swear into Congress to take an oath to defend our Constitution with their hand on the fucking Quran that says all infidels need to fucking die. It's like a bad fucking dream. You couldn't make this shit up if you tried. This country, which I thought was being saved when President Trump took office after 8 years of shit from Obama, he's been attacked so damn much. I don't even know how the guy continues. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how he's able to do anything. I know what he's done. I've seen his accomplishments. I agree with his accomplishments. I'm all on the Trump train. Don't get me wrong. But son of a bitch, imagine what this man could have done with America. What he did in the first 2 years, 2.5 years. Imagine if the Democrats and liberals weren't going 90 miles an hour to destroy him with all these bullshit investigations. Just imagine what he could have done for this country. Think about that for just a second. Had there not been this fake Russia investigation and all the other investigations they did on this man, where would we be right now? Imagine had there not been COVID-19. What the fuck would the Democrats run on? He said at one point in his life, grab a woman by the pussy. Have you not heard the accusations against Joe Biden? But you Democrats and liberals are okay with that? Oh, we don't believe them. We believe, creepy Joe. It's called hypocrite. That's what you fucking are. You're a disgrace to America. You should pack your shit up and leave. While you're at it, take Omar with you. Hell, take AOC with you. I'd like to see those fuckers live in an oppressed country. All the Democrats and liberals that claim that they're so oppressed here and that the cops hate them and that the white man's holding them down. I'd like to see your fucking pansy asses go to some other country and try and survive for 6 months. You wouldn't fucking last a week there. I've been to them. I've seen them. You motherfuckers have no clue how good you have it in the United States of America. None. Zero. You are completely fucking clueless. Like a dog or a cat that you have as a pet, that you got as a baby, that you raised in your home with central air and heat and nice food and clean water and a little comfy, cute bed that they're all in and getting petted all the time. That don't know what it's like to be a stray dog or cat on the fucking street, scrapping and surviving. Have no clue what it's like. That is how I look at these fuckers. They have no clue what oppression is. They have no clue what racism is. They have no clue what a country that wants to cut their throat if they come out of the closet as gay is like. They have no clue what police brutality actually is. None. Zero. They're fucking clueless. And it pisses me off. It pisses off American veterans. It pisses off all decent American patriots. Those of us that love this country. But especially those of us that have had the opportunity to go to places like Afghanistan and Iraq and Saudi Arabia, Korea, all over Southeast and Southwest Asia, Venezuela, Panama, Colombia, you name it. Those of us that know exactly what it's like to live under a dictatorship and have seen it firsthand. And these pansy ass pussies here in America that were born with a silver spoon in their mouth and would like a gold spoon handed to them from the federal government. Give me, give me, give me. You people don't have a damn clue about real life. If you did, you would shut the fuck up and you would join the Republican Party to save this country. And that is the fight we're on right now as we move towards November election. We voted him in once. He did outstanding things for us until this virus hit. Under all these investigations, under all these accusations, and now with the virus, he's still doing outstanding things. He's still making this country the best he possibly can under the attacks he's receiving. We've got to give him 4 more years. We have to. If we don't, you think what Obama did to America in 8 years was bad? You ain't seen nothing yet. Nope. And if those Democrats keep the House and win back the Senate, you can either take to the streets or pack your shit and go find someplace else to live in another country. Because it's going to get ugly. Folks, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really do appreciate it. Please like the video, share the video once my live video feed is over with. Let people know about the channel. Go over to DouglasDucote.com and sign up for the newsletter. For those of you who don't know, we parted ways with our producer some time ago, and we're having to regroup and rebuild this all over again. Douglas Ducote show looked really nice when we had a producer. In fact, you'd think you were watching Fox News. And now we got to learn how to do all that, or we have to find a producer that we can trust. And that's proven to be kind of difficult at the moment. So I ask that you at least go over there and sign up on the page so that once we have everything in our control, you will get the free newsletter. You'll be told what we're doing, where we're at. You can find out all about the things we've done on the border and all the things that really mean something to American patriots. We can't help everyone. There's no help in these Antifa and these Black Lives Matter radicals. Nope. Can't do it. But we can stand up against them. We can stand on our principles, our values, our morals, our beliefs, and God. Through God, all things are possible. But to sit back and just rely on God and not be actively involved in some way, well, that's kind of like self-absorbing. It's kind of like, I'll just let you handle it instead of stepping up and being a part of God's plan and trying to, it's like Jesus. If Jesus just sat back, what would have happened? No. If you're going to be a soldier for God, you're a soldier for God. If you're going to be a soldier in the United States military, you're a soldier in the United States military. You fight right alongside the leadership. The leadership right now, for me, is God. And I do believe that is my calling to do what I do today. I don't need to do this. I don't need the headache of this. I don't need the death threats, the horrible things that people are saying about not just me, but my special needs son. Hell, just today, one of these fucking freaks here on YouTube is talking nasty shit about my wife. No, I don't need this shit, but I do it because I love this country. Period. There's no other reason. And my faith tells me that in the long run, it's all going to work out and we're all going to be okay. But I'm not going to sit back and just rely on faith alone to see us through this election in November. And I hope you don't either. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving the United States military, our veterans, our brave men and women in law enforcement that are out there every night and every day risking their lives to bring justice, while sadly watching the court system that's broken let these freaks back out on the street to do more criminal conduct. Say a prayer for our Angel families, our Blue and Gold Star families, all of our first responders, our president, and our country. Thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. You had many places you could be. You chose to be here. And trust me, I'm forever gratefully in your debt. It is amazing to read the comments that are positive about what I do, my videos and my shows. It's humbling. And I thank you. Have a blessed night, everyone. I'll be putting out a few videos between now and my next show next Tuesday. Hope you'll check those out. Tell everybody about the Douglas Ducote Show and about this YouTube channel. And again, check me out on Instagram, Facebook under American Patriot by the Grace of God, and the Douglas Ducote Show. Take care, everyone, and I'll be seeing you soon.